Hello, we're going to take a look at lesson 2-4, translating measurements. What we mean by translating measurements is converting between different types of units. So for instance, we might need to convert between feet and inches and yards and miles or various distance units, or time units like seconds and minutes and hours, or maybe weight units like tons and pounds and grams and things like that. There's an important note in the thought here in the middle of the page that basically is saying that we have to make sure that when we do this conversion that 0 means the same thing for each type of unit. 0 inches, 0 feet, 0 kilometers, they all mean the same thing, so the method we use with ratios and proportions works. But for things like temperature it doesn't, because 0 degrees in the Fahrenheit scale is a different temperature than 0 degrees in the Celsius scale. They mean different things. For most units, 0 means the same thing, but not all, so it's just something you have to be a little bit careful of once in a while. Oops. Hold on a second here, let me get back to where I was. I scrolled a little too far. Almost. Sorry about that. So what you see here are a couple of different conversions, and on my screen I've already filled in the numbers. You probably want to do that in your book. 1 ton is equal to 2,000 pounds. 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. And 1 kilogram is about 2.2 pounds. Now, we can take and write each one of these as a ratio. In other words, it's okay to write, for instance, 1 ton over 2,000 pounds. They mean the same thing. Or we might write 1 kilogram over 1,000 grams. Or we can even flip things upside down. It doesn't really make any difference which one's on top, which one's on the bottom. I could put 2.2 pounds over 1 kilogram. And we'll be using ratios like these shortly to help us with the conversions. Something that also is helpful with the conversions sometimes is creating a graph like you see on the right hand side. This is sometimes called an island and bridge chart. If we look on the left, we see that we have 1 ton equal to 2,000 pounds. So on the right we have a circle for ton, we have a circle for pounds, and we have an arrow that connects them. 1 pound equals 16 ounces. Well, we add a circle for ounces. We already have one for pounds. And then we have an arrow or a bridge that connects them. 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. Well, we can add circles for grams and kilograms and connect them. And then 1 kilogram equals 2.2 pounds. We now have a conversion between pounds and kilograms. We can draw an arrow and connect that. And what a diagram like this is useful for is it shows us when we have to do single conversions and when things get more complicated. For example, if we want to convert from tons to kilograms, we can't go directly there. We don't have an arrow between those circles. But if we convert to pounds first and then take our number in pounds and convert it to kilograms, we can get there in 2 steps. If we wanted to get from tons to grams, we'd have to go from tons to pounds, then we'd have to go from pounds to kilograms, and then we'd have to go from kilograms to grams. It'd be a 3-step process. Most of what you will do will be either 1 or 2 steps as we go forward. So the bottom of our page, and I keep scrolling with the wrong scroller, I'll get better. The bottom of our page here kind of gives us a problem to think about. We would like to determine how many ounces are in 5 pounds. If we flip to the next page, we can see the setup for this. What our author has chosen to do is take 5 pounds, make a ratio to an unknown number of ounces. That's going to be equal to 1 pound to 16 ounces. We saw the 1 pound to 16 ounces on the previous page. That was this one right here. And we can write 1 pound over 16 ounces. We can write 16 ounces over 1 pound. We can write it whichever way that we need to. In this case, since the fraction on the left has pounds in the top, the fraction on the right should have the same. And since the fraction on the left has ounces in the bottom, the fraction on the right should have the same. This gives us a proportion. We solve it the normal way. 5 times 16 divided by 1. We find out that our x is equal to 80 ounces. And you've just converted pounds to ounces. We're given another question where we're asked to convert from pounds to grams. If we jump back to our picture, we can see that to go from pounds to grams, we have to do two bridges, pounds to kilograms, kilograms to grams. So we're going to make use of both the fact that 2.2 pounds and 1 kilogram are the same thing. We're also going to make use of the fact that 1,000 grams and 1 kilogram are the same thing. So let's go back over to that. And that's done in two steps. We start by doing 5 pounds to an unknown number of kilograms. That's kind of the intermediate step between pounds and grams. Since we have pounds in the top, kilograms in the bottom, we need pounds in the top, kilograms in the bottom on the right. That's 2.2 pounds to 1 kilogram. Multiply, divide. We get about 2.273 kilograms. And then we set up a second proportion. In this case, we're going to have kilograms in the top, grams in the bottom. So we set up kilograms in the top, grams in the bottom on our second fraction. We multiply, we divide, and we find out that x is about 2,273 grams. You're going to have some similar problems beginning on page 133 for cooperative group. And then on page 134, you'll do some currency exchanges. I'm going to give you a fairly current exchange rate. You can use 1 US dollar is equivalent to 0.91 euros. That will work for page 134. On page 135, you can use 1 US dollar is equal to, pretty close to 22.9 pesos. All right, again, that's 1 US dollar equals 22.9 pesos. You can do your work from there. And for the very last question, number 4, which is the last question for the group work, you'll need to make use of both those facts. You'll need to use the fact that 1 US dollar is 22.9 pesos. You'll also need to use the fact that 1 US dollar is 0.91 euros. It will be a two-step process requiring you to do both. I've already created a place in Moodle for you to enter your answers. You'll be able to attempt these problems and enter your answers in Moodle as many times as you want. Moodle will keep your highest score, so you can keep going until you get it perfect and get it figured out and get all 5 points for the group work. If you have any questions about any of this material, this would be great stuff for us to talk about during one of our Zoom meetings, which will commence on Wednesday, March 18th, and go during our class times on Mondays and Wednesdays.